Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part two. We're going to crack on with the Sunday games. Stefan, it's Burnley versus Leeds.
Yeah, so Leeds recorded their first win of the season in the League Cup this week. Llorente played 45 minutes at centre-half and Firpo at left-back got a full 90. So Leeds are starting to have some more stronger defensive options. For Burnley, interestingly, away at Liverpool, they lined up with 1 to 11 on their back. So I think the right back being 2, left back being 3, which tells you something about their squad depth. Although they are linked to a new signing at left back, £15 million. Will be interesting to see if that comes off. Westwood and Vidra are still out. So you can expect to see the same 11 that started up against Liverpool. Obviously, they were victorious in a penalty shootout win at Newcastle, which we spoke about. For Leeds, I think the team pretty much picks itself going forward. So you can expect to see Harrison on the left, Rafinha on the right, and Bamford, obviously, as that lone striker. Bamford, incidentally, has just got an England call-up, which came as a bit of a surprise, ahead of Mason Greenwood, which is interesting. And you'd expect with, I think, Andorra coming up, you might get a bit of game time out of him, or Southgate might look to utilise him. Two very different styles here, Burnley and Leeds. Expect Leeds to have a lot of the ball, fast pace, and that desire to attack. Leeds ran out 4-0 winners here at Turf Moor last year, and they got 6 points off of them. And Burnley have lost their last 5 home games, conceding 2 goals in each of them. So I expect Leeds to win this one, actually, and I expect Bamford to cap off a good week for him by bagging. And I think Leeds are going to get an away win.
Yeah, I foresee the same thing. Even though Burnley, they got a victory over Newcastle, like you said, in the Cup, I think that Leeds will be too strong. I feel like they played really well against Everton. That was a really good game last weekend. And we saw Bamford tussle with, was it Yerry Mina?
Yeah, good battle,
I feel like he's probably going to have to say it's going to be a similar situation this week against Tarkowski or me.
Well, he's not had a shot on target yet this season, Bamford.
True, but I think that a good game to get to start motoring will be against Burnley. And I think I can foresee that happening. And like Stefan said, it'll cap off a great week for him, getting called up for England and then maybe bagging 2 against Burnley. Who knows? But yeah, I think Leeds will be too strong, and I'm going to go for an away victory.
Yeah, I think Leeds probably just going to nick this one. Only just, though, mind you. And it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to deal with the threat of Wood. Barnes at the back. I mean, they did cause Liverpool a few problems last weekend. It's not going to be a walkover. It's not going to be 4-0 again, I don't think, like it was last season. But I think Leeds' first win on the board is probably going to happen this weekend.
The only thing you would say about Leeds is that they have looked a little bit weak at the back.
Yeah.
And without the Spanish, is it Llorente? He's still injured.
Llorente. He's not available yet.
Yeah, so maybe Burnley could nick one. They could score. But yeah, I think Leeds will overpower them and be too strong. And if it was 4-0 last season, I don't think we'll foresee it will be that again. But, a 1 or 2-1, something like that. All right, Clive, Tottenham and Watford.
Well, it's an interesting one now for Spurs because, I mean, KANE will start almost certainly against Watford. He scored last night against, who was it? Pacos de Ferreira, which is the Portuguese.
I gotta say, that's beautifully said, that, Clive. Can you just say that again?
Rolled off the tongue.
I even surprised myself then. So he's looking a bit happier now, and I would be as well. It looks like he's going to have a £400,000 a week contract rewarded to him, despite his the way he's upset Daniel Levy. But I mean,
will there be a buyout clause in that? Probably not.
Well, we'll talk about this a bit more later. It all depends on who he decides is going to represent him, I think, in the future. But I think the ship has sailed on Harry Kane, and no one's really come out smelling of roses in it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, Harry Kane's got to crack on now. He's got to, prove that he would have been worth over £100 million for Tottenham. I feel like Watford's away form could be a bit of a bone of contention for them as to whether they stay in the Premier League this season. They look poor against Brighton last week. And then Steve Bergwijn, Moura, Ali, just that midfield's just full of running. And then you've got Rahilion and Tanganga. The wing backs, we know how Nuno Espirito Santos loves his wing backs. So I think this game will be won depending on how the wing play plays out, because Sarr does create a lot on the right for Watford. So Reguilón might not be able to push on as much and sort of provide those crosses in the box that KANE thrives on. I do fancy those Spurs to come away with a relatively easy home win in this one. Watford still a bit of an unknown, but I just think that they might just be lacking a little bit too much in the middle of the park to deal with the Spurs' strong midfield, because it was their midfield that carried them through against Wolves last week.
So do you think KANE is immediately recalled to the first 11?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, so. Yeah.
That's almost another yellow card, that young man.
He'll definitely start. It's just a case of who misses out, really, which is a shame, because the Tottenham side's been playing quite well.
Probably Bergwijn, you would imagine.
Maybe it could be Bergwijn. Unfortunately for him, it's a tough one, really, as to who would miss out for them. But
saying that though, Stefan, it would be quite interesting if he did put KANE on the bench.
I think it's almost sort of a disciplinary, right? And to back the team that won 2 games.
He started in Europa Conference though last night, so I think.
But that's when you play your B team.
That's a punishment, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think they did the way Spurs have treated those last 2 games a bit like a pre-season, really. Yeah. And rightly so. I think it just wouldn't surprise me if KANE stepped up and got a hat-trick in this one.
I was just about to say the same thing. I really was.
Son, as well as Son played against Man City, he just struggled a bit against Wolves on his own last week. And I think Son does play much better. He's much more productive when he's got KANE alongside him. And I could see KANE just walking away with a hat-trick on Sunday, to be honest with you, and saying, there you go.
Son isn't a central striker, is he? We all know that. He's better suited off on the wing. And, last season, KANE holding it up for him.
Yeah.
And assisting for Son. I think we're going to see that again this weekend. But, yeah, it's going to be like I think the crowd are going to be going crazy at
totally
the stadium. They're going to be going crazy for KANE. And like you said, I think it's going to be a 3-0. I really do. And probably KANE is going to get the hat-trick, or at least get 2 and bag 1. Maybe a last-minute penalty or something. I think the script's been written already. I really do.
And kisses the badge.
All that.
Kisses the badge.
This summer.
Kisses the badge with a genuine knee slide. That's what we want to see.
That's what we're all waiting for, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I think it'd be interesting to see how Spurs play on the front foot. So they've opening 2 games against City and Wolves. They less of the ball, really. But yeah, they'll be expected to dominate here. And it was pretty much the same team as last year, isn't it, for Spurs? Yeah. And we've seen with West Ham, when you don't change the team around, you have a bright start. So
Brian Hill played for Spurs last night. And he apparently was just out. I've not seen the game, but I mean, what I've read about it is he was absolutely outstanding. And he was the engine in the field for Spurs. So you could see him coming for Oliver Skipp. And now he's had a bit of a pre-season. So I think Spurs might have a bit of an engine, and that might give Dele Alli the license to sort of push on a bit more up front in his resurgence under Santos, because he was treated very harshly by Mourinho. So and maybe a change at the back as well. You might sort of see Dyer or Sanchez make way for Romario.
Yeah, he had a good game midweek also, apparently. There's like a rock at the back.
All right. I think yeah, it's easy Spurs win.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement on that one. All right. Last game of the weekend, the late kickoff on Sunday, is Wolves against Manchester United. Wolves haven't scored in the Premier League yet. However, they did. Oh, what? Sorry, something happened on my laptop then. They did defeat. Was it Nottingham Forest? Yeah, they won.
Yeah, 4-0.
Nottingham Forest 4-0 away, resounding victory in the cup. I think they'll start with Kilman, Cody, and Saiz at the back. He seems to prefer, is it whoever instead of Semedo? And then you've got Neves and Moutinho in midfield with Morale on the left, and then you've got Trincao and Traore and Jimenez up top. Jimenez still not looking the same player that he was a couple of seasons ago. With United, we're in the shit a little bit in central midfield, if I'm being honest. This might be a time, Clive, to put 3 at the back. Because McTominay's got a groin injury.
Yeah.
Matic looked crap against Southampton, which means we've only got Fred as a real defensive midfielder.
I can't see it happening. But United were linked to Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester City.
Well, we're linked with everyone.
Window.
Basuma, Ndidi.
Yeah.
Would you not just slot Van der Beek into that midfield position? Can he not play there?
He's not. Well, he's not a defensive midfielder, is he? And a lot of United fans are saying that. Let's play him in that role. But he's not a defensive midfielder. He was bought to provide Pogba with some, opposition for his position. He can play as an attacking midfielder who also can play on the left. And he's not getting in front of Pogba, and he's not getting in front of Fernandes. So that means that he's going to have to adapt his game, I guess, if he wants to play him in midfield. I mean, he could play with him
double pivot, right? Like you said.
Well, yeah, we could go with that.
Pogba could fill in there as well, though, couldn't he? But I mean, it's not his best position by any stretch of the imagination.
It's a risk. He's not one for tracking back, to be honest. So I don't know if I trust him in there. I would honestly consider playing 3 at the back for this one. I really would. With the lack of options in central midfield, I mean, we could play Sancho at wing back, which is not great. Sancho at right wing back, Shaw on the left wing back. Then we could go Varane, who's got to play, by the way.
I don't think Solskjaer's forked out £90 million to play Sancho at wing back, to be honest.
I know, but must right now, Clive. We're going to have Varane, Maguire. Then you could play Lindelof or Arran Wan-Bissaka.
So moving forward, then, who does play central midfield for United moving forward?
That'll be Saul Niguez after we sign him before the transfer window. Moving forward, well, it's McFred, isn't it? It's McTominay who's got a groin injury. He's going to be out until after the international break, but I don't think it's a long-term injury. Apparently he's been injured.
Just a minor operation.
Yeah,
we
knew about this injury. Yet we brought him on at Southampton, which is mind-boggling. Instead of bringing on Van der Beek, we brought on McTominay and Lingard. So that shows just how much trust or little trust he has in the boy. But I think, yeah.
I was just going to say, I think this game will come down to how well Wan-Bissaka manages to handle Traore as well, to be honest. He seems to be the main outlet of creativity for Wolves.
That'll be a good tussle. It really will. Very good. And he's probably going to, if he does pass Wan-Bissaka, then he's going to have to deal with Varane before he gets the ball in the box.
So at the back, even if the centre midfield doesn't deal with it, then United should be able to deal with it in the back 4 or 3.
Yeah. I hope Martial gets dropped. I hope he puts Greenwood back up top. Pogba plays out on the left if we are going to go with the 4 at the back. And and Sancho has to start as well. We need Sancho's. Rashford started training this week, which is a positive for Man United, but he's not match fit. Yeah, he was just running, making sure his shoulders were aligned properly or whatever, strengthening them.
But then that shouldn't really mean that Greenwood starts to miss out if Rashford does come back. I mean, Greenwood's been rated in terms of creativity and shots on goal as one of the top 5 footballers in Europe.
He scored 8. He scored 8 goals in his last 10. So
I mean,
he's playing really well.
He's undroppable at the moment. To be honest, Mason Greenwood.
I mean, I'm going to have to say, Anna, we're undefeated in our last 27 away games. 27. We've equaled Arsenal's 0-3-0-4 side for that. So
I think that will continue.
So let's go for that draw, lads. Let's do it again. Yeah. Get the record. Cavani might actually be on the bench for this one, which will be great to have if we are in need of a goal. He's someone who's fantastic to bring on. But yeah, I'm struggling with our lack of midfield options. I can see a 1-1. I really can.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think your defense is too strong, and I can't see Wolves scoring.
Maybe I'm just depressed this week.
Good away record.
I'm just depressed this week, fellas.
I can see it being a
Man United away win.
Comfortable 2-0 away win for United.
Even after our performance against Southampton, you're still comfortable. You're still happy to say.
Just a bit of a blip, to be perfectly honest with you.
Enough.
I can't
All right,
see.
I'm changing my mind. 3-0 United.
Marcel in the midfield for Wolves, a lot of huff and puff. Same for Martinho and Neves. I just think United are just a stronger side in general.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes the Premier League games. We're now going to talk about what really matters, and that's transfers. So, should we start with KANE? What did you make of that?
Well, there's no conviction in that statement. It's carefully worded, isn't it? So I think he starts off. The first bit's true, isn't it? He's bowled over by the amount of support he's got. And then the wording of this summer
Yes.
So it's very false. It's got all the conviction of somebody receiving a pair of socks from their grandma from Christmas and through gritted teeth, right? There's no conviction in this. Levy basically was true to his word. I really thought he was bluffing at the start of this and was just trying to get as much money out of the deal as possible. But they didn't want to sell. The only person who was trying to make this move go forward was KANE and his brother, basically. And it's all started on a golf course with Gary Neville for an interview. So I think KANE has really lost this PR war. I think Spurs fans will forgive him, but I think is his legacy at Spurs not tainted now, despite what he goes on and do?
Well, it's not going to be a lasting legacy, because I think he will be off.
Spurs fans will be worshipping the ground he walks on this season if he gets them into the top four, which he might do. You know, I think Liverpool aren't the side that everyone likes to think they are. Chelsea will possibly win the league. Man City will possibly win the league. And then it's a toss-up between United, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, maybe Leicester for top four. But Leicester's defence is going to have to massively improve if that's the case. And if Harry Kane starts banging him in, and the way that Spurs have strengthened a little bit in terms of how they're solid in midfield and solid at the back, then they could be contenders. And if Harry Kane gets Champions League football this season, why would he leave? He's going to get a £400,000 a week contract, which is what he probably would have got at Man City. If Spurs were to win the FA Cup, I reckon that would possibly talk him into staying. You know, they're not going to win the league, but they're not going to play as badly as what they did under Mourinho. And I think that was the big thing for Harry Kane. I think that maybe disillusioned him a little bit with the style of just dreadful, like slow paced, just tedious football that Mourinho was playing at. It's not going to really invigorate a player who wants to win things.
I disagree that the FA Cup would keep him at Tottenham, because I feel the whole idea about leaving to go to City was that he was challenging on all fronts. I don't think one FA Cup would convince him that next season Tottenham could go on and win the league, and if they do finish in the top four, that they could win the Champions League. So I feel like City is still his target. And I think he'll be playing well for Tottenham because he does generally probably love the fans and he does probably genuinely love the club. He just wants to leave to win things. And it's understandable in a way. But yeah, but like you said, Stefan, I think that it wasn't a statement of conviction. It was a statement just to keep people off his back for a season. And I feel like we'll be back here next year doing this, talking about Kane going to City. And yeah, go on.
He's off, isn't he, next summer, if he has.
If he's going to get a new contract, there has to be a release clause in there. There has to be.
But you never know with Charlie Kane. Might end up on less money.
I think the Man City boat has probably left.
You think so?
I think they're going to sign Ronaldo, and then Haaland's available for 70 million in January. And Chelsea aren't going to sign Haaland because they've signed Lukaku. United could be in for Haaland. United would be a great move for Haaland. But Man City just can't see them needing a depreciated asset in Harry Kane. Haaland's younger. He'd sign a 6-year contract at Man City, and he'd have amazing sell-on value. Why would you then sign a 29-year-old Harry Kane who's probably got 2 or 3 more years at his peak when you can get 10 years out of Haaland in theory? That's what Man City are going to go for Ronaldo now as a bit of a stopgap for Haaland, who they'll probably sign next summer. Mm-hmm. And if Harry Kane does go somewhere, could end up at Liverpool. Wouldn't write that one off. Could end up at Real Madrid or Barcelona if they sort out their finances. I just can't see it being Man City now. I think that boat's gone.
Well, he can sign a pre-contract agreement, can't he, in January? And then leave in the summer next year for about 70 million, Haaland?
Haaland.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Kane,
yeah. Oh, no, Haaland, sorry.
He could. I mean, I think that's the one that everyone wants now. And I think that's possibly where Man City have adjusted their strategy now, as I'm sure other clubs are. I mean, I think Liverpool are possibly in for Haaland and United, but I mean, you see how Haaland pals up with Mahrez and Foden on holiday and stuff like that. I just see that move just a matter of time. Haaland going to Man City, to be perfectly honest.
He's not. Surely he's got to be a target for Man United next summer.
Oh, especially
with the Olo link, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the Sancho link as well. Good friends with Sancho.
Of course, yeah. Okay, yeah.
The only thing that's stopping United or hindering It was Roy Keane smashing his dad's leg on that pitch.
Get over it.
Yeah, Erling, get over it.
Let that drop.
And the fact that his agent is Raiola as well, who we
you don't like him, yeah.
No, we don't like him.
Roy Keane's not involved with the club though, is he? So I think
it might sting a bit. I don't know. You never know, do you? Can you put yourself in that situation and play on the same ground week in, week out?
I think Haaland will end up at Man City next season. I think
he'll end up at United. But there you go.
I wouldn't be so surprised if Kane ends up playing in Europe next season. But I mean, let's see. A £400,000 a week contract from Daniel Levy, I'm sure will set aside whatever emotions he had.
You think Kane, at City. You think Kane next summer there won't even be a talking point? It'll be at Tottenham.
There'll be a talking point. There'll be a talking point for sure. But I think a lot will depend on the brand of football that Nuno manages to pull off at Tottenham. And it can't be any worse than what Mourinho was doing.
But he was very successful under Mourinho, wasn't he? He was one of the players that actually flourished under him and Son.
The rest of the team was just turgid in how they were playing. They were it was appalling football. And anyone would have wanted away from Spurs during that period. I mean, one of the most creative players 2 or 3 years ago, Dele Alli, was just totally ostracised by Mourinho. I mean, the dressing room can't have been a nice place to be around while he was there. And you can just see the way that Spurs are playing now. They just seem a happier bunch. They're more on the front foot. He could end up staying there for the rest of his career. We will talk about it for sure. And I think the telltale factor will be if Kane leaves, if he changes his agent. If Charlie Kane ends up stepping aside for someone that knows how to write in a gentleman's agreement into a contract. And if that happens...
That's the opposite of a gentleman's agreement, isn't it? Writing it into the contract.
Exactly. But I mean, if Kane was to change his agent, then I think that would be the green light that he would be off. But if he doesn't, Daniel Levy will just happily sit there and say, "You give me what I want, or you stay." And if Kane's going to sign another long-term contract and even more money, then why? Yeah. Why go through all this again? It's just
we'll see. We'll see if there's a clause, like let's say it's still the same amount that Levy wants, 150 million. If that clause is in the contract, that to me just says that he is going to leave next summer, and City will gather the funds, or maybe even someone like PSG or Real Madrid would gather the funds together to make that deal happen.
For Kane to go and play in League One in France, what a waste of a talent that is.
No, Champions League guaranteed every year, playing with Messi, playing with his old coach, guaranteed a league title. Ramos is there, Donnarumma's there. Kane
at PSG screams to me as something that he'll do when he's 34, 35 years old. He can go and play in La Liga for Barcelona or Real Madrid if they can afford it.
But can they?
Oh, at the moment, no. Not at the moment.
Well, you say that about Barcelona, which I do agree with. But coming on to the next transfer that we're going to talk about, MBAPPE, whatever you want to call him. What is going on there? End of next summer, his contract expires, and he says, "I want to play for Real Madrid." Yet they've made a bid of 170 million euros, a take it or leave it deal. Was it today? I think.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Where that money,
where's it come? Yeah,
where that money has come from the start. Because they were pleading poverty, weren't they, a few months ago, and saying that the European Super League was going to be their saviour. They need this to keep afloat almost. There is a theory, maybe a conspiracy theory, that this is just posturing and they actually don't want this bid to be accepted. They're almost showing their intent, and then they can sign him on a pre-contract when other teams might come in, like your Liverpool's, in a few months' time. So they could just be bluffing and hoping this bid doesn't get accepted.
Dangerous game, no?
Yeah, and the fact that PSG wouldn't accept it as well.
Yeah. I also don't understand that. If someone says they want to leave, I think they came out and said, "Oh, it's on our terms if he leaves or not." Well, not really, because next season he's out of contract, which means it's not on your terms at all, and he can sign for any club he wants. Yeah. So why not just cash in on him now and make?
They do have to pay a big percentage to Monaco. I think it's in excess of what that bid is. It's about 40 million of a sell-on goes to Monaco. Oh, really?
I also heard that they haven't finished paying for him from Monaco yet. So if they do sell him, I don't know what the terms are for a buy on, but they haven't finished paying him. I think they've paid like 140 million. So if they do sell him for the agreed amount, they would actually make a profit on him. And in this scenario where his contract's going to expire next season, that's unbelievable business.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's held up. That's what's held up the deal, because I think that the PSG have come out and said they won't sell him unless they make a profit on him.
Is that right?
So
they will make a profit, then, right?
Well, they want to. I think with the current offer, I think there is much of or if any profit at the moment.
All right. 4 days left. Do you foresee MBAPPE wearing the white of Real Madrid this season?
Yeah.
I think he
I'm going to say yes.
I think
I'm going to say yes.
You do wonder as well how he feels about with Neymar being there, because he's not a big man there now, is he? Mbappe at PSG.
Well, Messi I would have guessed before exactly. Neymar. That's the main man right there.
So I think he might want to move on.
I don't understand. I don't understand that mindset. I really don't. Like La Liga now with Barcelona looking like a great side, and Real Madrid with financial burdens, even though they're paying this money.
Atletico Madrid are also very much in the mix for the title now in the Liga.
But in terms of the Champions League, do you think Barcelona and Real Madrid are anywhere near like your Chelseas and your Liverpools and your Cities and your PSGs? I don't think they are at the moment. I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel Real Madrid, though, historically a much bigger team than PSG. And I'd probably rather play in the Liga than Liga.
Historically, yes. But right now, are they?
Can you for the
next 4 or 5 seasons? For the next 4 or 5 seasons, can you see them being bigger than PSG? I can.
But that French league, who else is in that French league? There's competition every week.
Does it matter?
Lille
won the league last year, didn't they? So.
Yeah. But now, I don't know. It just feels like PSG and nobody else.
Exactly. And I think there's a lack of.
Apparently, this is the ironic thing. He wants to follow in the steps of Ronaldo, right? His hero. Then go to Real Madrid and do what Ronaldo did. But Ronaldo might now go to PSG. So that'd be irony, wouldn't it?
I mean, Vinicius for Real Madrid against Levante at the weekend just got a couple of absolutely brilliant goals for Real Madrid, especially the third one. And they do. I mean, Benzema has improved a lot in the last year or so for Real Madrid, but he can blow a bit hot and cold. But that Brazilian lad, Vinicius, is just him linking up with Mbappe up front for Real Madrid would just be a dream come true. And I think you would then see Real Madrid genuinely rival PSG for the Champions League, which does beg the question why PSG would sell to a main rival for the Champions League, because I mean, you know, they are obsessed with that competition. They do want to win it, and they've come close a number of times, but just haven't quite got over the line. If they kept Mbappe, they probably would be favourites to win it this season. Whereas selling into Real Madrid puts Real Madrid possibly ahead of them a little bit. I mean, for me, if I'm Mbappe, you'd walk from Paris to Madrid for a move like that. I mean, I
don't understand that. I really don't.
PSG have only been a big club for the last 10 years since the new owners have come in. The history of Real Madrid is much more. The longevity, the sustainability of Real Madrid's history as a football club, as a top football club, just wipes the floor with PSG's history. I mean, 10 years ago, PSG nearly got relegated. I mean, there's not as much prestige, I think, playing for PSG as what there would be for Real Madrid. And I think if Mbappe was to go to Real Madrid, he'd end up as an absolute hero there in the likes of the old Brazilian Ronaldo, Figo. I mean, he'd go down in folklore at the Bernabeu, and
so you think
that's probably what he wants.
That's why he wants to go, because of dynasty. You think a 22-year-old thinking about that?
Yeah, very much so, because I think he'd probably end up playing there for the next 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I think he wants to be the main man, and I think he wants to
would be the main
Benzema.
man. Yeah,
but from a PSG point of view, surely sell him, because you're going to lose him for nothing in a few months' time. It doesn't make any sense.
Agreed. I feel like the owner should just come out and say, listen, he wants to leave. This is the situation. His contract's up, so let's just get rid of him. Let's just come out and say it. Say it. Don't pussyfoot around it and just say he wants to leave. We're going to sell him. Goodbye. And then maybe they have 3-4 days to bring in someone else, Ronaldo. So yeah, I say get rid of him. All right. We're going to come to it, aren't we? Ronaldo to City. I'm just going to go to sleep for 5 minutes, as you were, boys.
I mean, it's exactly. They've agreed terms, haven't they? Yeah. It's
but not a fee. Isn't it meant to be the other way around?
There were. This is happening a lot now. Is where clubs agree personal terms with players, which before fees are agreed, and I'm sure that's illegal. But it does happen a lot now where you read, personal terms agreed, but they've not agreed a fee yet. There were rumours circling around last night that actually a 30 million fee had been agreed, and Juventus are adamant that they won't let him leave on a free, but they have to let him leave because they need to release funds on the wages. And it's just a dream scenario. And you do wonder at what point did the big wigs at Man City and Juventus know that the KANE deal wasn't going to happen, because Ronaldo just insisted he wasn't playing against Udinese in the first game of the season. Sorry, second game of the season for them. And he's like, I want to be on the bench. It's like, he must know that an approach had been made, and it's an approach that he'd entertain, and it's regardless of the fact that he used to play for United. I mean, I was thinking, why don't United just go in there and try and gazump Man City? But United don't need him. It's just been a pointless signing for United. And I think he'll do a great job at Man City for a season, and then when going back to Haaland,
I think it's a 2 year. I think it's a 2 year deal that he wants.
Yeah, it'd be a 2 year deal. But then what? I mean, having Ronaldo at Man City, it pays for itself in shirt sales. It makes perfect commercial sense. He could possibly be the missing link for the season that wins Man City the Champions League. You bring Haaland in next summer, and then what an amazing player to work with to bring your game on while working with Ronaldo, who would lead the season after that, and then Haaland would be the main man. I mean, the strategy of bringing in Ronaldo, playing with young players like Grealish. I think Sterling will end up going the opposite direction to Juventus. But I mean, also Jesus has been mentioned as well. But I think Pep rates Jesus because of his versatility. Well, he can play on the wing, and he can play as a false nine as well. So I think Jesus probably will end up staying at Man City. Why would Man City not let Sterling just a simple swap deal, maybe, and then plus cash, maybe a bit more? I don't know, but it's a no-brainer for me, this one for Man City. I mean, they need a striker. I'm not so sure it's a no-brainer. I'm not just saying that as a United fan, but I'm being objective here. You don't look at me like that, Stefan. 38-year-old, right? He'll be 38 in February. 36.
No, 36. He's 37 now, and he'll be 38 in February, I believe.
Really
check that if you want. Get on the old Google machine and check it out. But seriously, everyone knows he's a bit of a diva. I've got to say, that Juventus deal, looking back now, I think it was a pretty terrible deal for Juventus. You have to remember, they won the title 6 years or 7 years on the trot before they bought Ronaldo, right? Then they won the title 2 years on the bounce, of course. And then last season, they finished fourth. I know we got top scorer, didn't he, in Serie A? But he's on the decline, I think. And I don't think you say, he's going to be the perfect foil for Haaland. He's going to teach him the ways. He's not like that. Everyone knows he's not like that. If Haaland comes in, he'll be getting pissed off with Pep, and he'll be like, "Why am I sat on the bench? I want to be the main man. I want to be up top." He's not the sort of player who's going to, like a Messi, he will put an arm around the player and this is how it's going to be. I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you the way. He wants to be the main man, and I can't. Remember, City didn't want to start Aguero because it didn't suit Pep's philosophy of working back and helping the team. Ronaldo's exactly the same, if not worse. So I don't understand where he's going to fit in. He will get goals, but will he make Man City stronger? Will he make him more collusive as a team? I don't know, because everyone knows, even United fans knows, he is a diva, without a doubt.
Pep demands discipline, as you say, right? And he wants people to stick to his ways of playing. And we're seeing that with Grealish now, and he's going to try and mould Grealish into the player he wants. He can't mould Ronaldo.
Correct.
Will Ronaldo get lots of goals? As you say, yes, he will. But to be honest, it is the only destination for him. When you look at Madrid, Juve, Man United can't afford him or not going for him.
I did think I read last night that Mendes was in Paris, but then they've come out, PSG, and said we're not interested in signing him, which broke my heart again. It's a terrible week for United fans. But anyway, yeah.
But you don't need him. United don't need Ronaldo.
We don't need him. We don't need him. It's just the fact that he's a hero of the club and he's going to our rival. It's not the same as Schmeichel. It's not the same as Schmeichel going to that City team, with Spencer Pryor and Danny Seattle. This is a City team challenging on all fronts with one of the best managers in the world. This hurts. It definitely does hurt. Even though he is at the end of his career and he's got nowhere else to go, it's still painful. Very, very painful.
You've got to remember, he
what would I rather?
A transfer request. Oh, sorry. What would you rather? Would you rather improve your central midfield to get your, who is it? You're after Camavinga or Niguez or Neves, or Ronaldo go to City?
What are we getting in? You have to pick one.
Pick one. Who's your preferred choice?
I would like to try that Niguez out. If that meant that Ronaldo went to City for 2 years, yeah. And you know why?
You take that?
Yeah, I would. Because you have to be self-serving, right? I don't think he will make City stronger. I think he will come up. I think him and Pep will clash. I really do, and I think that it won't work out as well as people think it will.
He definitely makes City stronger. There's no way that Ronaldo. What have they got up front at the moment? They've got.
Well, did he make Juventus
stronger?
Even though he got top scorer last season, did he make Juve? They finished fourth last season. He's not as good as he was.
Up top.
They won the league. They won the league without nothing up top.
He's not Aguero off the bench last year. Kane. Chelsea have got Lukaku now.
And they're going to have to pay him £200,000 to £300,000 a week as well for the next 2 years, which is like what?
Don't think Ronaldo's
$6 million.
Don't think Ronaldo's going to start every game though. I think
he will want to, and that's where
he will
clash.
Want to, but I think he knows that his main aim will be to win Man City the Champions League. So I think when there's big Champions League nights, he'll play a certain amount of minutes in Premier League games before and after Champions League games, but he will be starting every single Champions League game without doubt. And I think that's the main reason they brought him in, to win Man City the Champions League. I think with the rest of the players they've got, there'll be times where he might just come on for the last 20, 30 minutes if need be, and see games out. You're not going to need a Ronaldo to beat the likes of Burnley, to beat the likes of... I was going to say Everton, but Everton aren't that bad, but also to beat the likes of Norwich. You could rest him up if a big Champions League game against someone like PSG, who they've got in the group, it is coming around, because they've also got Red Bull Leipzig in the Champions League group as well. So they've not got the easiest of groups.
PSG.
PSG. I mean, that's
PSG. Yeah. So it's Ronaldo against Messi again.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
In the Club Brugge as well, who they'll probably swat aside with ease. But I mean,
that Pep playing with Ronaldo against Messi, that's unbelievable.
That's not a straightforward group for Man City. So they really would need Ronaldo on those Champions League nights to perform, and maybe just protect him a little bit in the Premier League games before that. And I can see that being a tactic that they might employ there.
Yeah, we've just got a minute left. Let's just run through some of the Premier League signings. Looks like Zuma's going to West Ham. I saw Carvalho was linked with Norwich. Doesn't look like MBAPPE is going to go to Everton, because like Stefan said,
it's never happening. It's not happening in years.
Chelsea are also linked to Niguez on loan, which they just signed Kunde. I think Chelsea have had a cracking transfer window. I really do. Maybe one of the best. I think if I'm being honest, Chelsea have probably done the best in this transfer window, and maybe Levy is coming second.
Yeah, I'm still hopeful Coutinho might end up at Leicester, but I think that one also is probably passing us by. And Barcelona need to get Coutinho off their books as well. So interesting what might happen with him as well moving forward.
Anyway, folks, we're going to wrap this up now. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time, probably on Tuesday, for the Premier League Roundup. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.